Hello and welcome to today's video, which I think is going to be really useful for you. So the comment I most often get from students about question 5, the description or the story writing is this: I'm not creative. I don't know how to be creative. How can I do well in this question? I'm just not that creative. I need to read the rest of the exam paper to give me ideas. So if that's you, this video is going to solve your problems super quickly, because the secret of being creative is just being able to say yes to ideas. And I'm going to show you a warm-up activity that I do that just helps me to be creative. So I've just taken a screenshot of my online newspaper. Don't judge me if you're not a fan of the Telegraph. And I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, so I'm going to turn each of these into a potential story. Sven-Göran Eriksson, I'm haunted by 2006 and that Ronaldo wink. So this was a wink that Ronaldo gave on live TV after he got Wayne Rooney sent off in the World Cup, I think it was, in 2006. And that was the end of England's dreams because they had to fight with only 10 men. Well, most people will just write a football story, but no, I'm just going to say yes to whatever I think of. So the wink to Sven-Göran Eriksson is because Ronaldo has got Wayne Rooney sent off. But this was the great betrayal. Wayne Rooney was the great love of Cristiano Ronaldo's life. They're both secretly gay. Cristiano Ronaldo had been in a passionate relationship with Wayne Rooney, but it all came to nothing during this championships when Ronaldo chose this moment to betray his lover and instead chose to win for his country. And he put his country and his own personal victory in football ahead of Wayne Rooney. Now we jump to the future where Ronaldo is thinking of leaving Real Madrid and Wayne Rooney is leaving Everton, and they're going to join up together in America. They're both going to go to America and join the same team and rekindle their love affair. And I'm going to tell this from the point of view of Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney in 2020 as they get together again in America. Now, none of that's true. I've just made all of that stuff up. Victoria Moore, 20, best bottles to buy now. Okay, so Victoria Moore can see into the future, and she has worked out that glass bottles are going to become collector's items because in 50 years' time we will recycle everything and we will not be allowed to keep any kind of litter that can't be recycled, but there will be a black market in really interesting bottles, and Victoria Moore has worked out what sort of perfume bottles or drinks bottles are going to have a special resonance with people 20 years from now, and they'll look back on this time as a golden age when they could have any kind of bottle they wanted. It's somewhere is looking rosé. The contents of these bottles will be found to give an extra 10 years of life to the people who drink from them, because there'll be some kind of compound available in the rosé that's no longer available in the future, perhaps because of climate warming or something, and it's only grown in some strange vineyard in France that gets wiped out, becomes desert in 2040 due to global warming. But this compound will be hotly sought after by the rich. So there you go. 50 years of the tiger who came to tea. So this is a tiger in India who's 50 years old and has survived deforestation and climate change, and is the last surviving tiger in 2040. And it's only been kept alive by a remote village with a tiny girl in it called Judith, who has kept the tiger alive for 50 years by feeding it tea and scones once a week. And it is in fact tame, but still living in the wild. But the tragedy is this is the last tiger left in the wild, and either the tiger's going to die out or there'll be some kind of genome reproduction of its DNA. I haven't decided yet. Sweet ban at tills to tackle childhood obesity. Okay, so in the year 2020, obesity has got to such a terrible extent in the population that the health service is starting to buckle, and as a publicity stunt, a crazed doctor decides to inject quite a few sweets at supermarket checkouts with a compound that makes the eaters swell up and eventually explode. And it begins with the first child exploding live on YouTube, and we see it through Sainsbury's CCTV footage. And it's told from the point of view of the scientist who's done this, sacrificing 5 children who all explode on Easter Sunday. But the result is that 300 children immediately give up chocolate and sweets and have a much longer life expectancy. And he justifies this in his own mind, that he saved hundreds of thousands of lives by killing 5. So there you go. Christine, Stalker terrified me. What's so terrifying in this picture? It's the clothes. Okay. Christine was a supermodel who was forced to diet down by the clothes designer Stalker, and eventually she had to give up modelling because she became ill, anorexic, and I don't know, her teeth started to glow in the dark by the looks of it. So I'm not really happy with that one, but I've just said yes to it. I've just gone with it. Chaos as Visa crash cripples payments. So there's a massive heist that's planned by I don't know, a gang of or you pick a group. Let's call them Portuguese because I had Ronaldo there. Portuguese international criminals who have worked out that if they can prevent people using their Visa cards, they'll all rush to the cash points. So they have disabled all the Visa cards of people in New York. So every time they go to make a payment, it's cancelled. And they are then filming every single cash point in New York to record the PIN numbers that people use when they go to withdraw cash. There's an epidemic, obviously, of people going out to draw cash. Their Visa cards are, they're copied. In fact, let's not make them Portuguese, let's make them Russian. And this is a great Russian plot because they suddenly get the Visa card details of 50,000 New Yorkers and instantly wipe out their bank accounts overnight using their Visa card details, which causes an economic crash in America. Trump is voted out and Vladimir Putin takes over as the most successful world leader, and Russia becomes a world superpower. So there you go. And I do that in my head much more quickly than that just before I go into the exam. So this will be the night before I'll do that, and I'll do it the morning when I wake up, just so I've got lots of ideas. Now, I might not use any of these ideas in the actual exam, but the point is I've reassured myself lots of times that I'm going to be able to come up with ideas easily. Now, this brings me to my final bit of advice. I encourage my students not to write out a plan for their story. That's a high risk, perhaps you might think, but I know that if I've done what you've just seen here, to just 3 ideas, if I've only focused on 3 ideas, I'll then easily be able to say, yeah, that's the best one. I'll be able to pick the best one there. For me, that's never the first. It's always a later idea. And that's why I always ask my students to list at least 3. And as they're writing, I just say to them, write everything down, because you're just saying, yes, no idea's rubbish yet. And then when you look back at them, one of them will leap out at you as the one that you're going to do. So That's my top technique, and it works every single time, as long as you don't listen to that voice in your head which says, no, that's a dumb idea. So I will leave this video with a final screen of the next stories on my news feed. So the one that I'm automatically drawn to, well, there's two of them. There's Benedict Cumberbatch, who plays Sherlock Holmes. Here he is, saving a cyclist from four muggers. He jumped out of a taxi to rescue the cyclist. There's a lot of opportunity for playing around with Sherlock Holmes kind of stories there. Or this idea of a Russian pilot who's found 30 years after going missing in Afghanistan. What could he have been up to? How could he have turned from the enemy into an Afghan? So those are two that just pop out at me, and I'd easily be able to write about them. Or what about this one? 400 million year old fish discovered, ancestor of dinosaur and humans. My God, what if I wrote a story from the point of view of that fish that was just about to evolve into the first land-walking creature? Or if that fish knew that it was going to evolve. In fact, there's a novel called So Long and Thanks for All the Fish by Douglas Adams, where dolphins turn out to be the most intelligent creatures on Earth because they're aliens who are now leaving Earth. But anyway, the opportunities there are just everywhere, as long as you just say yes. Good luck with this technique. I promise you it works 100% of the time. Practice it before you go into the exam, because you won't be used to saying yes. You will be used to saying, no, that idea's no good. No, that's dumb. Oh, what will the examiner say? Forget about all of that. Yeah, practice this and you will write something you really, really enjoy. So I hope I've persuaded you. Good luck in your exam, and just enjoy it. Yeah, go out and enjoy, have fun, and you will write something brilliant. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like more, and good luck in your exams.